right? Done. Done properly now?
For the picture.
Before we go live, I'm asking
For me,
persons
it's
to
no
put their
problem
phone on
giving kiss
silent.
2, 3 times, 4 times, 100 times.
I know that.
That is no
Your
problem.
your social media profile
Just
is
put
so
it-
strong.
I think now we
With
are
that.
equal.
Listen, I need to get a word with Mr. Collada and Suarez and those people and in relation to the Saudi engagement at the end of this month and the month destination. We're going to meet with the GCC to try to structure a big to meet with 100
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Friday. Thank you for joining us today for this special announcement. We're almost ready, and we ask and indulge your patience for a few more minutes for us to get started. So thank you very much.
Okay.
Okay, good morning again. Thank you for staying with us. I am Lucretia Green, and I thank you for joining us today for this very special tourism announcement. In our presence is our Minister of Tourism, the Honorable Edmund Bartlett. And I use this opportunity to welcome to our tourism headquarters in Kingston, Her Excellency Angie Martinez, the Dominican Republic Ambassador to Jamaica. And joining us online, we will have Mr. Victor Pacheco. He's the owner, CEO of Arajet airline. Welcome to the media who have joined us on the Zoom platform, and to those joining on the Ministry of Tourism Facebook page. Thank you so much for your time. Here in tourism, we are in a very celebratory mood as Jamaica's tourism sector has recovered and is now in a season of growth. Today, we invited you to announce a new airline partnership which will augment our growth. To the media, you will be able to ask questions at the end by using the hand raise signal, and you will be identified and be allowed to speak. You may also type your questions in the chat. So let's get right ahead. I now invite Mr. Pacheco, the owner and CEO of Arajet, to address us. He will be joining us, as I mentioned, on Zoom. Mr. Pacheco, please go ahead.
I'm very happy and pleased to be here with you today. Her Excellency Angie Martinez, Ambassador of the Dominican Republic in Jamaica, the Honorable Edmund Bartlett, Minister of Tourism of Jamaica, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Tourism, Jennifer Griffith, Acting Deputy Director of Tourism Marketing, Peter Mullins. So thank you very much for allowing Arajet to connect these two brother countries. It is something very significant and important for us. Our aim is to bridge the lack of connectivity and the lack of low fares in the region. We have the objective to democratize travel so that we can support our region in its growth towards the development of new commercial aviation routes. And we believe that this will be very important for the tourism growth, the commercial growth, and also to support entrepreneurs in the new age that the world is living. And as a company that is born in 2022, it was also very important for us that we take into account a brand that believes in sustainability. Therefore, we are the first airline in Latin America that is launching an airline with brand new and the most technologically advanced aircraft, which is in this case the 737 MAX. If you were to compare any of our routes through Google Flights or any other OTA online and compare prices and airline to airline, you would see that Arajet is already the most sustainable airline wherever we're flying. And this means that we have 40% less pollution, noise pollution with our aircrafts, but also it means that we are more fuel efficient and we have a much advanced gap that we have bridged towards the emissions of CO. And we have the goal to be a carbon neutral company, airline. So that said, going back to the main objective, which is to democratize travel, our people will be connected with fares as low as $252 with taxes for a round trip, which this is an enabling opportunity for not only for our countries to be better connected, but also to be able to travel within reasonable budgets. And this is part of our plan to launch from Santo Domingo 54 routes. Right now, as it stands, we count already with Monterrey, Mexico City, Cancun, Guatemala, San Salvador, San Jose, Costa Rica, Barranquilla, Cali, Cartagena, Medellín, Bogotá in Colombia, Lima in Peru, Quito and Guayaquil in Ecuador, Aruba, Curacao, St. Martin, and now, with your support, Jamaica. And this is our first year of operation. We have managed to serve 16 of these destinations within our first 40 days of operations. We have built a very experienced management team that is leading the company, and we are fully backed by an American investor in the form of Bain Capital, who's the biggest asset management fund in Boston. And we are now a portfolio company of Bain Capital. As it stands, we have a sister company in Virgin Australia and also in Icelandair. And these gentlemen who now accompany us not only as capital providers, but also as board members, have extensive experience investing in the aviation space, not only in airlines, but also in other aviation related sectors. So that said, I am very happy to be talking with you guys today. And please let us know how Arajet can help support the growth of the tourism of Jamaica so that we can become strategic partners for the future.
Buenos días. The Honorable Edmund Barley, Minister of Tourism of Jamaica, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Tourism, Jennifer Grifton, online, Acting Deputy Director of Tourism Marketing, Peter Mullins, CEO and founder of Arajet, our dear Mr. Victor Pacheco, friends of the media. Well, again, buenos días. We have to start practicing Spanish, right? Now that we will be really connected. Good morning. I'm truly excited to be here today to announce something that is historic and will be a truly great game changer between our both countries and our bilateral relation. The commencement of the direct flights between Jamaica and the Dominican Republic. I think that they wanted me to, okay. I read the signs. Now it's better? Let me see, okay. Or you want it like that? Probably, better? Okay, I should start. I said that I was truly excited to to be here this morning to be officially announcing the start of the commencement of the direct flight between Jamaica and the Dominican Republic, something that I believe will be a truly game changer in our bilateral relation. Having direct flight that connects Jamaica and the Dominican Republic is a need, it's a necessity, but it's also a dream that today we are seeing come true. When I was assigned by the President of the Dominican Republic, His Excellency Luis Abinader, and my Foreign Minister Roberto Alvarez as Ambassador of Jamaica, although to be very excited to be in the land of Bob Marley, someone that I really admire very much, and the land of Usain Bolt and Claude McKay, I do my research. And that led me to several realizations. One of them was that we have a very bad connectivity. So the lack of connectivity that just Victor Pacheco highlight in his words. So I make myself one of my goals to work hard and improve our connectivity by sea and by air. The first one by sea was really easy or quickly to resolve. But by air was my real challenge. So connect our two countries was a hard work for 1 year. And I am really thanks and grateful of the Jamaican authority, governmental authority, for all their support, starting with Minister Edmund Barley, Minister of Tourism, that has been key in supporting all the different initiatives of our embassy. Is our very good friend in Jamaica, and he has been pushing our agenda strongly. But of course, our Foreign Minister, the Honorable Camilla Johnson-Smith, the Minister of Transport and Mining, Minister Audley Cho, the Minister of Industry, Commerce and Investment, Minister Owen Hill, the Director General of the Aviation Civil Authority in special, Mr. Nari, of course, my good friend Delano, who has been key in supporting all the agenda of the embassy. So, and I will be today, because lack of time, not mention all the people that have been involved, but even the private sector has been pushing hard in order to achieve this connectivity between our two countries. And I raised that, I outlined this vision to the Prime Minister of Jamaica, the Most Honorable Andrew Holness, during my courtesy visit with him, and he was 100% supportive. So after a year of hard work, we were able to obtain, thanks to all these people that were involved, the official authorization from the Jamaican government to Dominican Airlines to initiate operations between Jamaica and the Dominican Republic. This development is definitely an important diplomatic achievement, and it will create clearly before and after in bilateral relations, in the strengthening of the political, investment, commerce, tourism, but most important, in get our people closer together. I really believe that that's one of the best things that we will achieve with this connectivity. Jamaican and Dominican Republic will get well together, not only in New York, where I know that they are very good friends, but also between our country. We will start Dominicans traveling to Jamaica and Jamaicans traveling to the Dominican Republic, and that will allow us to understand us better, to know each other better, but most important, to love each other more. So for me, this is very, very important. I would like to thank Mr. Victor Pacheco, because he has been the person in Arajet that make this dream come true. So thank you very much for making Arajet this dream come true. Thank you for making happen. Thank you for seeing the potential in connecting Kingston and Santo Domingo. Now, thanks to Arajet, we will reduce our connection from 20 hours sometimes, ministers, which is really a nightmare, I can tell you, because I have to travel a lot for work, to the Dominican Republic. And I always said to the governmental Jamaican authorities, believe me, I can reach Dominican Republic, my country, before by swimming than going through Miami and Panama. So it was really hard, I can tell you, for investors, for the commercial trade, for that we have a very strong relation, but this lack of connectivity was something that we needed to improve, we needed to achieve. So now, from 20 hours up to 20 hours to get to the Dominican Republic, or get from Jamaica to Dominican Republic to Jamaica, we go to up to 1 hour and 50 minutes. So this is huge. We will be there, or then we'll be here in Jamaica before they can realize that they just landed. So thank you very much for all the people that have been involved. Thank you, Arajet, for making this at a very reduced price, because I can tell also that that was something that will that there is something that will change a lot. I myself have been paying $800 and $1,200 for just a one way. And we are talking about less than $300 round trip with Arajet, which I think is a big change. And that will allow us to connect each other in a better way. So thank you, Arajet, for having this vision. Thank you for connecting. Thank you for everyone that have been involved to date. I'm really, really happy.
Thank you, Ambassador Martinez. I now invite our Minister of Tourism, the Honorable Edmund Bartlett, to speak to us. Minister Bartlett.
Thank you very much. It's difficult to speak after Ambassador Martinez, being so eloquent to begin with, so knowledgeable actually, and more so passionate about this very, very important milestone that Jamaica and the Dominican Republic have reached. She really has covered very extensively the critical elements of this agreement, and I think that what she's now requiring me to do is to contextualize this arrangement and to enable us to understand what the implications are, both in terms of regional tourism as the development ensues and our international connections. So I want to begin by acknowledging Her Excellency herself, very affable, competent, capable, lovely partner of Jamaica. We could not have asked for a better partner between Domrep and Jamaica. A number of ambassadors have come before her, I must tell you, and I've been close to almost all of them in the last 42 years that I've been representative politics. But I think Ambassador Martinez is perhaps the one that will result in being referred to in time as having achieved the highest level of connectivity between Jamaica and Dominican. The level of commercial connection that have ensued during her tenure so far has been significant. And now this milestone, real milestone achievement of air connectivity. The importance of this minister partner who I know might very well be listening, Minister Collado in the Dominican Republic, or definitely his team, is the fulfillment of what the hope of a true multi-destination tourism arrangement within the Caribbean is all about. It's a dream that we have had, and I want to instance the fine work that the co-founder of Arajet Airlines, Mr. Victor Pacheco, and his team have done in enabling this to happen. Our Director of Tourism, who is joining us online, has played a key role also in enabling this. But I wanted also to reach out to my ministerial colleague who have all worked so assiduously to enable this day to happen, when an announcement can be made that we will begin direct flight from Santo Domingo to Kingston on Monday, the 14th of November, 2022. Minister Audley Shaw, of course, from the Ministry of Transport, and his predecessor, Minister Montague, who I know did good work in that regard. Dr. Horace Chang, our Minister of National Security, our Foreign Minister, Honorable Kamina Johnson-Smith, and of course Minister Aubin Hill. There are a number of other players, as the ambassador has correctly stated, who have played a role in enabling this moment to arrive. And it tells you how many moving parts are involved in creating a tourism experience that so many of us have been marketing, and Jamaica hasn't done badly in marketing it. The fact is that the decision to enable improved connectivity between Dominican Republic and Jamaica is part of a broader and wider strategy of integrating the Caribbean more and of also creating backward connections between Central America and South America. We have been working at building that market for the last 15 years, the South America, Central America market. We have been working with other airlines, and I know Mr. Pacheco will not mind my mentioning that we have been working with COPA, for example. We've been working with LATAM, and we've been working with a number of other regional carriers, Caribbean Airlines, Cayman Airways, Interjet, and so on. But Inter-Caribbean, and Air Gaviota from Havana. And all of these have been putting us to a position where we can be able to say to the wider world that air connectivity to the Caribbean can be achieved by a hub and spokes arrangement. So with the connection here from DOMREP, and DOMREP is the second largest market in the Caribbean. Mexico, DOMREP, Jamaica, and Cuba are the four big destinations in the Caribbean, and we are all in the northern Caribbean. And we have already, all four of us, signed MOUs for multi-destination tourism. And I met with the Cuban ambassador in London a few days ago, and the Cuban minister of tourism, and he's very excited about pursuing this multi-destination strategy. And I want to indicate here that a historic event is about to take place at the end of November, when for the first time more than 5 ministers of tourism from the Caribbean will visit the Middle East and commence a multi-destination tourism strategy and the opening of the Middle Eastern market to the Caribbean. I have been doing a coordinating role in this, and the CTO, its chairman, the Honorable Kenneth Bryan, the Minister of Tourism from the Bahamas, Mr. Chester Cooper, the Minister from Barbados, Minister Edgehill, the Minister from Guyana, and the Cuban Minister have all had discussions in this regard, and we are making that trip to the Middle East, and we want to commence that program. Now, I want to bring in other ministers within the region because our Northern Caribbean represents an important area for multi-destination. And the Northern Caribbean convergence would be Jamaica, Cuba, Bahamas, Cayman Islands, Turks and Caicos, Mexico, and of course the Dominican Republic. So these are 7 countries, but Panama is also included because Panama has already signed a multi-destination agreement with us in the Northern Caribbean area. So what we're saying is that air connectivity is at the heart of an effective tourism convergence in the Northern Caribbean and in the Caribbean in general. The CTO having asked me to chair the Reimagining Task Force focuses also on multi-destination. And we see multi-destination in 2 ways. One, in terms of the configuration of the Caribbean, the north and the south. So Northwestern Caribbean, which are the countries I mentioned earlier, and then the South Eastern Caribbean, which would be Trinidad, Barbados, St. Lucia, and the islands of the OECS. So what we are looking at is a strategy that will connect the Caribbean in full to the far-flung markets of the world. The Middle East represents a lucrative and growing area and an area of great interest to us. So when that team of ministers with the CTO leadership goes to the Middle East, we're going to be talking with the 4 big airlines, with Qatar, with Etihad, with Emirates, and Saudia. And the idea is to utilize that connection into the Caribbean through the hub and spokes arrangement. We will hub at one of our islands, and then we will distribute from that hub into the various other parts of the Caribbean. And I am satisfied that this arrangement will be a game changer for the entire Caribbean and for tourism in general. The recovery of tourism in our region has been regarded in the world as the fastest, and we in Jamaica, DOMREP in fact leads that. I say it with a little bit of tinge in my throat, you know. But it's true. In fact, the 22 destinations that have been published as having been the most visited destinations since the pandemic, DOMREP is #1 in the world, and Jamaica is #5 in the world. And of course, the Caribbean region has 4 in fact of the 5, which is significant. 4 of the 5 top destinations that have been visited since the pandemic are in our region.
That's true.
DOMREP, Mexico, Costa Rica, and Jamaica. And we want this to continue, because that's how our economies are going to be strengthened, and the well-being of our people are going to be secured. So the Minister of the Caribbean are committed to making the Caribbean a strong tourism destination and to recover in a very effective and inclusive way. And I wanted to indicate to everyone that air connectivity and the movement of people has to be supported by investments. And one of the real positives that will flow from this engagement is that it will bring to the respective destinations that energy for investment, because there will be ease of access and there will be a sense of being able to manage almost from anywhere. But the key realization that within 2 hours you can be looking at your asset, making decisions not virtually but face to face, and surveying the extent of your own investments and assets in the areas. So for us, this is not just a game changer. This is a red letter day in the life of tourism aviation in the Northern Caribbean, because we in the North are close to each other physically, geographically, but we are distant from each other.
That's true.
From connectivity.
Yes.
You know, as the ambassador correctly said, I'm going to DOMREP. I have to go to Miami and have a layover of 4 or 5 hours in order to get a flight that then goes 2.5 hours to Punta Cana or to Santo Domingo. So she's right, 20 hours of waiting to visit somewhere that you could arrive at in an hour and a half to an hour and 50 minutes. Major game changer. Yes. So I want to thank all the parties that have worked so hard and so well to achieve this objective. And I can assure you that the 54 routes, Mr. Pacheco, that you are connected with will become connected to Jamaica. Thank you very much.
Very good.
Ladies and gentlemen, the presentation segment is now over, and we thank those viewers who joined us on Facebook, as we will now end streaming on that platform. It is now time for question and answer, and I ask media representatives on Zoom to raise your hand as an indication that you have a question, or you may also type the question in the chat.